Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. In this video, we're going to talk about my master plan for retirement with my $3 million portfolio. Now, did I use some clickbait for this video? Yes, I did. Do I currently have a $3 million portfolio? No, I do not. Do I think I'm going to have at least $3 million by the time I retire? Abso-freaking-lutely. Because I max my tax advantage accounts and I buy total market index funds and I don't try to time the market, okay? But a lot of people are focused on wealth accumulation. How do I make 10x returns? What vertical line stocks do I buy? And they don't really think about how they're going to live off their investments in retirement. And what a lot of people do is they say, I don't know, maybe I'll buy some dividend stocks and I'll buy this and I'll buy that. And they develop this complicated portfolio that they're going to live off of. I think living off a retirement income, being retired and living off your portfolio is one of the easiest things that you can possibly do. As long as you can control your emotions, do not make this thing complicated. Do not make retirement complicated. Because when you get older, you get a little bit dumber, okay? You start to lose your brain cells. Maybe you get, dementia. I don't even know if I can say that. Your life should not be complicated when you're retired. Instead of focusing on investments, you should focus on being retired, okay? That's what matters. Your portfolio should be the last thing on your freaking mind. So what I'm about to reveal to you is basically my exact plan for how I'm going to fund my retirement. Right now, I am 100% Vanguard Total World Stock Market Index. Basically. I mean, okay, I got like 2% in like a China ETF. But basically, I'm fully 100% stock and I have emergency savings. That's my portfolio. That's literally it. But as I get closer to retirement, you bet your butt that I am not going to be 100% stocks. I know Dave Ramsey and all these other doofuses out there. Dave Ramsey's like, oh, you can be 100% stocks and just, withdraw 8% per year. That's clownery, okay? You need something else besides stocks, but it doesn't have to be complicated. So I'm going to reveal to you, I even made a cool little Excel sheet for you guys. Strongman's retirement plan portfolio. So I got a couple things on here. Basically, if there is a cell shaded in tan, I use this at work, by the way, it helps me. That's something that I have to input a number in. So I've got a couple things here. I've got some data that you have to enter. I've got a portfolio allocation, which we're going to talk about in a second. And then I have a cool little pie chart here. Now, what is my portfolio going to consist of? It's going to be 2 ETFs. Now, before we get into this, I'll make sure I'm sharing my screen. Make sure everybody can see what's going on here. Before I get super into this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I hate financial advisors. I think they're scum of the earth. But I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. And I'm proud of that, by the way. And this is my own personal opinion of what I think is the most ideal retirement portfolio. If you're old right now and you're retired and you're watching me, don't copy me. Do your own freaking research, okay? I don't want to get sued. You told me to buy VT and it went to 0. Do your own research, or for the love of God, if you have to, hire some scammer financial advisor. But this is what I, Christopher Bell, am going to do, okay? My retirement portfolio is going to consist of 2 things. It's going to consist of a short-term treasury ETF. A good example is SGov, which we'll look at in a second. And it's going to consist of VT in orange. That is going to be my retirement portfolio. I'm not going to have this dividend stock and that dividend stock and JEPI and JEPQ and Tesla Y, because I'm sure that'll be around in 20, 30 years. I'm going to have 2 ETFs. That's it. Now, I know a lot of you have small brains, okay? That's why you watch my channel. But I think even your small brains can handle 2 ETFs. And you're like, Strong, man, look, if this is investing, it's got to be complicated, bro. And you got to do analysis of the economy. And, oh, my God, what did me, Kevin, say about Tesla stock? Should I buy or sell it today or short it? You need to keep things as simple as possible, okay? And my philosophy is you want to have plenty of equity exposure, stock exposure, because you're going to be retired for a long time. You think you're going to retire at 65 and just croak over in the next couple of years? I mean, you might, but human longevity can continue to expand. I mean, you could be retired or even, well, you're probably going to be working or part-time at least. Everybody's going to retire, bro. But you could be retired for 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. I mean, people live freaking forever now, and they can live longer into the future. So if you're going to be retired for 40 years, I personally don't think you can put all your portfolio into a bond ETF. I don't think that's going to keep up with inflation, and I think you're going to spend it down. Okay. I personally think you need a decent amount of equity exposure. Equities instead of stocks. I say equities because I'm sophisticated. Okay. VT, the Vanguard Total World Stock Market Index, provides the equity exposure. I like it because it is every stock in the freaking world, basically, that's publicly traded, basically, at market cap weights. You don't have to pick countries. You don't have to pick sectors. You don't have to chase performance, which all of you do. You're not exposed to one country going to crap. You have everything at market cap weights. VT, okay? As long as the world's companies grow their earnings and profits and humans become more productive, and even with inflation, VT should hopefully go up over time. Hopefully, theoretically. That's where you're going to get your long-term sustainability of your portfolio. SGov in green, we're going to look at both these ETFs because I know I never showed you VT before. SGov, it doesn't have to be SGov per se, but it needs to be an equivalent ETF. Short-term U.S. government federal treasuries. Now, you may say, oh, they're bonds. You don't need bonds. And I would actually agree with that to a certain extent because some bonds are very risky. That's right. Because bonds have a lot of risks. They're not risk-free like a lot of clowns out there think. If you have a long-term bond, it's very susceptible to interest rate risk. Look at TLT, actually. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. But SGov is short-term U.S. federal treasuries. It's like the safest thing you can invest in, theoretically. I mean, nothing's 100% safe. But I think most people would agree that short-term U.S. federal debt, which is backed by the full faith credit of the United States government, is the safest thing. Okay? So if I need cash in a year and I just want to park it somewhere, I'll lend it to the government, make a little bit of interest, okay? And then they'll tax it. Well, whatever. I'll make a little bit of interest. That's why I like SGov, but you'll see more in a second, okay? So let's go ahead and plug in Strongman's portfolio. So I think, I'm pulling numbers out of my butt, I'm going to have $3 million in retirement, okay? Now, yearly withdrawal rate. There's all these theories and sustainable withdrawal rates. It doesn't freaking matter, okay? Like whatever you believe is a sustainable withdrawal rate, go read up on it, go research it. I always hear 4%. If you want to be conservative, maybe do 3%, whatever. But you need to pick a sustainable withdrawal rate. What percentage of your portfolio are you going to sell every single freaking year? I would say, just to be, decently conservative, but not super conservative, I'm going to go with 4%. So I'm going to take out 4% of my portfolio. So with a 4% withdrawal rate off $3 million, I generate $120,000 a year of income. $120,000 a year of income. Okay. That's pretty good in my opinion. Years in cash. Here's the next box. So the question is, okay, how many years of cash, cold hard cash that will be there? How much cash do you want on hand? Well, me personally, I want at least a couple years of cash because I don't know if you guys knew this, but stonks can go down and then go down for a decent amount of time. I know all you do is you see all these tech stocks vertical line forever. It's because that's all they do, right? Stocks can go down for a while. And what you don't want to do is start withdrawing from your stock portion of your portfolio when the market's down massively, which is entirely possible in the future. So I'm going to want 5, maybe even 6 years of cash on hand. Okay. What does that give me? That gives me an 80-20 stock to bond portfolio. This portfolio has 5 years of cash, $600,000 of cash. And by cash, I mean SGov, short-term treasuries, cash equivalents. $600,000 of cash and 2.4 million of stock. Okay. I'm pretty comfortable with this asset allocation. 80% of your portfolio is in stock. You may have a bear market, but guess what? You got 5 years of freaking cash on hand, and you can always adjust your spending. You don't have to spend $120,000 a freaking year, okay? But you have 5 years of cash on hand, and you have 80% of your portfolio continuing to work for you over time because you're going to be retired for a long time. If you want more cash on hand, let's say you want 7 years of cash, okay, you got a basically 28-72 portfolio, 72% stock, 80 or 28% SGov. That's I don't know why you need to make it more complicated than this. Oh, but you need to hedge. You need to have, what about dividends and stuff? Why? Basically, you just reinvest the dividends. Like, all you do, the way you get money out of this portfolio, or what I'm going to do, is just take it out of the SGov component, and then I'm going to rebalance periodically. That's all I'm going to do. And I know I can get cash out of this portfolio because SGov doesn't really fluctuate that much. You'll see in a second, okay? SGov is a great ETF if you want to, as much as you possibly can, guarantee that you have cash. You can also put it into a savings account, okay? Whatever. I want to have 2 ETFs, and I can just, it's a joke, but I'll just take it out of Robinhood. I'll sell $6,000 or 10 grand of SGov a month out of my Robinhood account or whatever I freaking need, and then deposit it into my bank. But I want to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm an old senile man, and I need money. I need to manage my portfolio. I can open my Robinhood app, which is the #1 brokerage in the world, apparently. And I'll be like, okay, I need to rebalance, sell VT because it's at 85% now, sell it, and then rebalance. That's all I got to do. And then if I need money, okay, I'm going to pull out my year's money and I'm going to put it into my checking account or savings account. Okay, let me withdraw $120,000. Let me sell $120,000 of SGov and transfer it to my checking account or even your savings account. And then you can have an automatic transfer into your checking account. That's it. This is how you should do it. Instead of having all these dividend clown stocks, whatever, okay? And you're like, well, why don't you just live off the dividends? Well, there's some points I want to make here. Number one, I've already talked about this a couple times. This is a very simple portfolio. You're old, okay? Focus on having fun. Don't focus on buying stonks unless that's like your hobby. You can do that with like a clown portfolio off to the side, okay? But if you're old and you want other things to do, you should have a simple portfolio. And you can make it this simple, okay? Dividends. Why don't I care about dividends? Well, dividends can be variable. They're all over the freaking place, okay? You can't choose when you get them, and they can go up, they can go down, dividends can get cut. You never freaking know with dividends, okay? With this portfolio, I know I've got 7 years of cash. 7 years of cash. That isn't going to fluctuate, and that's very, very risk-free. I know I can get that money. I can pull out exactly what I want at any time. With a dividend, you're just sitting there waiting for your dividend. You're just waiting for your dividend. Oh, it's coming in March 13th. Exxon's paying their dividend. And, Shadaw's paying their dividend on April 6th. So it's like all over the freaking place. Okay, this is easy. So with this, you just hold these 2 ETFs. You just reinvest, because these are going to pay distributions. SGov pays, I believe, monthly. And VT pays, I think, quarterly. Just reinvest and rebalance your portfolio. Keep it super simple. That's all you got to freaking do. Okay. And like I said, it's guaranteed income. It kind of is because a huge portion of your portfolio is in government bonds. Now let's go look at SGov. So this is SGov. Okay. iShares, it doesn't have to be SGov. It could be anything. iShares 0 to 3 month treasury bond ETF. Treasuries are backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. Full faith and credit of the U.S. government, okay? Now you're like, strong man, look how volatile this is. See, it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. Why? You said this was very a stable ETF. It is, because I know how bonds work, and it's a 0 to 3 month treasury bond ETF. Now, it may look like it's fluctuating, okay? But let's think about it this way. So the price down here is $100.03. The price up here is $100, and if it go up, $100.71. So this thing basically went up. It swang less than 1% over the course of 5 years, 4 years. 4 years, this thing went up 1%. And if you think about that, is that a crazy fluctuation? Oh, it went down, and that took a lot of time. The reason this happens is because short-term bonds are not really that sensitive. Short-term treasuries are not really sensitive. They're less sensitive to interest rate risk than long-term bonds. Now, if you bought TLT, oh, but they have higher yields, bro. It's got higher yields. Look at TLT. This thing's down 27% in the last 5 years. You want to put your portfolio in this? Oh, but you can just have, for the bond component, you just have long-term bonds, and then you have stocks because it's a stock bond portfolio. Well, you need to understand how bonds work. If you don't understand how bonds work, you're going to get your butt clapped. You don't need to be an expert on bonds, but you need to know that interest rates and bond prices are inversely correlated. And the longer the duration of the bond, the more sensitive it is to interest rate risk. So you have like these, even the Bogleheads, they have these like portfolios where you should have B and D. Well, if you need cash, because this is theoretically the cash portion, if you need cash, you're not going to guarantee your cash with B and D. This thing dropped from $89 all the way down to $70. Yeah, that's right. You want to know why? Because it has a longer maturities than SGov, which is literally 0 to 3 month treasuries. Now, you're not going to get a lot of interest, okay? Oh, it's up 0.01% today. Over the past 5 years, it's up 0.66%. Oh, it's so volatile. You're not going to get a lot of interest. I mean, now, recently, short-term rates have been lower because of like inverted yield curve, whatever. But long run, I mean, theoretically, short-term should pay less interest than long-term. But that's not the point. The point is that you have stability. I would be perfectly happy to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in this thing and just say, okay, I need money. I'm going to sell 10K of SGov and transfer it to my checking account. And oh my God, it's up 0.1% today. And this doesn't even include interest, distributions. If you reinvested them, you'd have more money than this. Get it? Okay, short-term bonds. If you want money, if you want to guarantee your money now, good. Longer-term bonds, not so good. And of course, let's go look at the expense ratio of SGov. Now, I don't know what products they're going to have in 20 years from now, okay? But you see this thing. Look at the fees. Okay, so 0 to 3 month treasury bonds, 0.07% net expense ratio. That's like, it's cheap as heck. And you get access to like this basically the safest things you can possibly have in the investable world, short-term treasuries for 0.07%. Now, recently, it's been, like I said, it's been yielding 5%, because that's what short-term rates are. That's not going to last forever, I don't think, or maybe it will. I don't know. But, it's generating interest, and it'll help you keep up with, hopefully help you keep up with inflation, or at least maintain it if you reinvest it. And it's not going to fluctuate a lot. That's the key part. And then the other part of my portfolio is going to be the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF, okay? Historical returns. That's all that matters, bro. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about picking stocks. I don't have to worry about picking a country that's going to succeed. I don't have to worry about anything. I have exposure to everything. North America, Middle East, Pacific, Europe, emerging markets, and other 0%, whatever that is. And I get to own some of the greatest companies in the world at market cap weights. And over time, I don't have to pick winners or losers, and I think my wealth will grow. That's it. Just hard. Oh, but the dividends. But Jeppy. Yeah, I'm not buying freaking Jeppy. What a freaking joke. This is an easy to understand portfolio. Short-term bonds that don't fluctuate a lot, that are super safe. And then you get a total market index. You get 2 ETFs. Find me a portfolio that's simpler than that, besides a target retirement fund. Find me a portfolio that's simpler to that. And I like this portfolio because if there is a down market, VT's down for 3 years, okay, I don't have to sell it. I got SGov. It's good. I mean, you can have 7 years of cash on hand, and you still have 72% stock. That's pretty good. It's pretty freaking good. Okay, I mean, you can like punch in like, oh, what's my portfolio now? Let's say I had $500,000. Oh, well, I could take out $20,000 a year, 4% withdrawal rate. And I would leave 360,000 invested in VT and 140,000 in SGov. Obviously, you can't retire off that, but you can put in a bunch of stuff. But you can kind of figure out like how much retirement income you think you'll need. Like, man, if I had $5 million, man, I'd pull out $200,000 a year. It's still have 3.6 million in stocks. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me hear your genius comments. It should be a Tesla and Jeppy, bro. And Tesla Y. And dividends. Strong man. Like the video. That's right. Subscribe to my channel and I'll show you a puppy. Do you like Berkshire B? Yeah, it's part of my portfolio. How much of Berkshire B do I have? Berkshire B is 0.78% of my portfolio. I'll have you know. When VT goes up, Long Dong's dong grows bigger. That's why it's so small, by the way. When Tesla goes up, grifters' voices get higher. I'm a grifter. Oh my God. I'm soy. You notice all the non-grifters are jacked and handsome like me. Why no VU? I have VU. It's part of VT. 3 million isn't rich enough under Gil's vocabulary. Hey, most people, look, most of you clowns, you're going to have like 600K in retirement. Like most people don't have a lot of money when they retire, but they have like Social Security. And then they basically can live off basically whatever your portfolio is. That's what you have. And that's what you have to live off. So your standard of living is going to be determined by that final balance. That's it. So it's up to you how much you want to save. And hopefully the returns are good. It's going to be 12% per year, bro. Dave Ramsey told me so. Finally, you tell us, well, I'm not telling you what to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not. This is literally going to be my portfolio. I don't have to pay some stupid financial advisor. Hey, bro. You got to charge you 1% expense ratio, and I'll put you in 20 different investments, bro. Get out of here. SGov or something like it. VT. Boom. Okay, I'm going to Aruba or wherever people go. Some big. Get out of here. You think when I'm 65, Bitcoin is going to be around? Get out of here. Strong, we had bonds on bond ET. The only thing I'll say about bonds is if you need money soon, you could do short-term treasuries, or you could just put it into a savings account. That's my opinion. I'm not a big fan of bonds for like long-run returns. Oh, but it smooths the volatility of the portfolio. Who cares? Don't look at it. With all due respect, anyone, if you depend on VT, you're monumentally fudged. Well, you know what, Gil? I disagree with you, but debate. Yeah, that's right. Gil, use some of those QQQ gains. Send me $100 or 90, and we'll debate. Imagine 3 million, 50 years from now. That's going to be more than most people, trust me. If 3 million's a brokey, most people are in abject poverty. Let's see. Dong thinks he can plan for the future, proves he hasn't entirely escaped the Matrix mindset. Oh, I'm firmly in the Matrix. They've got me by the balls. You know, I got kids. I got to work. I got to do a job. Do a net worth breakdown. I will. Are you staying at a Red Roof Inn? No, this is my bed. This is where the magic happens. This is where the babies were made. Okay, by the bull, of course. I'd slap a 3P on it. Man, VT would be doing pretty good if it had a 30 PE. Let's see. 3 million is enough to retire today, but not in 30 years. Well, most people aren't going to have that. So my philosophy is you have what you have, and then you live off 4% of that. So it's up to you how much you save. 4% kind of high for your... Oh, I'm not doing that now. This is when I'm like 65, 70. 3 million. I'm telling you, most like people think the average person is balling. You guys watch too much YouTube. Most people are broke. They don't have anything. They got like $100,000 in their 401k. It's in like clown stocks. If you have $3 million in 30 years, you're doing way better than most people. I promise you that. Unless it's like hyperinflation, but I don't think that's going to happen. Come here. Yeah, he's probably watching. He's like, strong man. Why you retire in 30 years when you can just buy Tesla Y, go up 10% in one day? You retire now. Like, get out of here, you loser. You hate income in your portfolio. Oh, I wish I got nothing of income. At least that wasn't taxable. Let's see. Why are you hating on honorable Cambodian Marine who was out there defending our freedom? He's doing clandestine missions. Somebody find me the clip where Khmer said he was special ops. I will destroy him because I do not believe that he is special ops. Let's see. But I am reading comments. Takes time, boys. Even a bank account is there's essentially no interest rate for 15 years during. That's the price you pay. I mean, if you want to guarantee that money's there, it's got to be in cash. I mean, you can put it in CDs or whatever, but for me, it's simple. SGov, VT, live off 4%. 1.2 million. Oh yeah, put $1.2 million in one stock. There you go. Genius plan. Let's see. Khmer has paid 300 years worth of taxes. We can all retire. Social Security be around guaranteed. Thank you, Khmer. We really appreciate your ordinary dividends. It's really helping us out here. I uploaded my portfolio. Oh, Mr. G. He's more jacked than me. Look at that. I thought I was jacked. You should convert your Discord into a public Discord or I'll react. We can all riff on. I'm probably gonna do that, but I'm not gonna guarantee that I'm gonna be in there because I really don't have time. I won't be in there that much. I'll stick with PPETF. With all due respect, Mr. Strongman, most people aren't going to have millions when they retire. Holding reasonably high yielding stocks. No, it's all about total return. What you have is what you have. You can sustainably withdraw 4%. At least that's the rule. It doesn't matter what if your dividend yield is 5%, you're over the sustainable withdrawal rate. It's 4% or whatever you want. That's it. The dividends don't matter. It's about total return. That's all that matters. Stop making this complicated. Stop buying dividend stocks. Just buy a total market ETF, have some short-term treasuries, and there's your portfolio. Let's see. VT 100-year cover. Oh, my God. Well, VT's not popular, so they'll never have a covered call ETF. They only do covered call ETFs on things that retail clowns will fall for. Tesla? Apple? NVIDIA? Covered calls. Coinbase? They probably have a Robinhood one, too. What about the S&P 5? I mean, you could be worse. I do have half or 62% of my 401k at my current job is the S&P 500. What's your YouTube ES? Oh, man. F minus to the 10th power. Strongman built like R2-D2. I'll take that as a compliment. I appreciate that. Let's see. LaFufu's looking at. Is he really? He's probably stressed, man. Oh, here we go. $80. I'm going to destroy VT in Lincoln soon. Inshallah, recruit you to QQQ. You are a Tate follower, aren't you? Hey, I'll take it. All right, you're slowly making deposits, Gil. You're slowly building up your ability to debate me. Okay, but Gil, if you just give me another $80 right now, I'll debate you tonight, boy. Tonight, if you give me $80 right now in my bank. If not, you can keep making deposits, but I'm keeping track. Strong, man, why is China less than 3% of VT? Because that is what the market has determined that China's weighting will be in VT. It's literally market cap weighted, investable market cap. That's all it is. So the world thinks that China should be 3%. All the Chinese publicly traded companies should be 3% of global market cap. That is what the market has determined. And I love the market. I really don't, but okay. Okay, Gil, I have nothing on you. Buy VT. Thank you for your kind donation, Lincoln. Thoughts on Fubo? Garbage. Leave 401k, gross tax deferred. Tax deferred unless it's a Roth. Dong, besides life cycle, which TSP fund would you be in? I would literally, so the life cycle, like from what it looks like it's like VT, basically. As much as you can create VT, that's what the life cycle fund is. I think they are pretty aggressive in how they transition over to stock or to G fund. I just hold the life cycle, the farthest one out, so it's basically 100% equities. And then if I were to model a portfolio, I'd have, like, for my retirement portfolio, like I just talked about, I would have like 70% L fund furthest dated out, and then I'd have the rest G fund probably. That's what I would do if it was in the TSP. Like half his portfolio. Whatever. Schwig has a lower expense ratio than VT. VT is a clown stock. I guess it is. Doesn't China have the largest market cap as a country? Well, clearly market cap and economy. Well, no, it has the second largest economy, but it doesn't have the second largest market cap. Those are two different things, two entirely different things. Life cycle funds are grifts. But all right, guys, that's my portfolio. You guys have a wonderful day. Gil, keep sending me money. You'll get your debate one day. Cheers.